Through a sequence of videos, I'm going to show you how multiple developers can collaborate on an Android Studio project using GitHub. You can see that I've logged in here as MCS 270 Developer 1. That's going to be one of the sample demonstration accounts I use. The other one's going to be for Developer 2. In real life, those would be whatever your actual logins are, and there's no reason it couldn't also have a Developer 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to stick with 2 for simplicity. I'll also note that each of those could really be a pair of programmers working side by side on a single computer. From GitHub's perspective, that doesn't really make a difference. The interesting part is having multiple developers working simultaneously with each other on different computers. Before the developers can get started on a project together, they have to have some way of having access to the same repository on GitHub. There are several ways we could do that. One would be one of the developers could create a repository and maintain total control over it, and the other developers would have to funnel all the updates to the project to that one owning developer. A second possibility would be that the developer who owns the repository could explicitly on GitHub name the other developers as collaborators who have the permission to push changes into the repository. Neither of those is really satisfactory if the goal is that the project is equally owned by all the developers. It should exist separately in an organization account that's shared by all the developers, rather than existing in one of the developers' personal accounts. So I'm going to show you how Developer 1 could create an organization. Go to Google Chrome, and in particular go to the GitHub website, and you can see GitHub is remembered in this case that we're logged in, signed in as MCS 270 Developer 1. If not, we could sign in. I'm going to go down here to Settings, and among the many different kinds of settings for Developer 1, there's Organizations at the bottom. I'll click that. Right now, Developer 1 is not a member of any organization, but can click New Organization. And just like we'll use these made-up names, MCS 270 Developer 1, Developer 2 will make up a sample name for the organization. You would really use something that was a name of your team. And so this is now on GitHub at MCS 270 Demo. I'll put in my email address. Calling it a billing email is a little misleading because I've selected the open source version, which is free. We'll create that organization. At this point, we've got an organization. It's got Developer 1 as a member. Here we could use this panel to invite other members, but rather than doing that here, I'm going to just finish and use a later method of inviting members that's a little more flexible. So here we're on the main page for this organization, and there's this Invite Someone button, and we'll invite MCS 270 Developer 2 to also be a member. And in fact, not just a normal member, but we'll invite them to specifically be a co-owner of the organization with us. The idea being that we want this to be a totally egalitarian organization, which is appropriate for a small project team. And we'll send the invitation. So at this point, as it's notifying us here, Developer 2 is invited. They'll receive an email that they could respond to accept the invitation, or they can just go straight to the organization's webpage and accept it there. And I'll show all of that in the next video.